Welcome back to First Things First Tuesday, Midsummer Classic. Judge, Shohei, baseball's biggest stars in Atlanta for the All-Star Game. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Fox. Joining us now, who will be there, Fox's Ken Rosenthal. Ken, of course, thank you for joining us again. I want to start off talking about one of the brightest stars of the league, Paul Skenes, who might start the All-Star Game, which would be nice to have him on a team full of stars that could actually win the game. How is the average fan supposed to wrap their head around Skenes' season, and do you think a trade could be on the horizon?
It's a great season. He leads the majors in ERA. He's the only pitcher under 2, the only starting pitcher in terms of ERA, and he is one of the best pitchers in the game and probably should start for the National League. As for a trade, the Pirates have only 2 untouchables, him and Andrew McCutchen. And the reason he's an untouchable is because simply right now to trade him, why even continue with your franchise if you're trading that guy? Now, there may come a time when he starts making more money and when he gets closer to free agency when the Pirates entertain it, but they're not ready to entertain it just yet. They've got some young pitching coming and young pitching in the major leagues, even besides Skenes. They want him as the rock of that rotation, at least for the time being. What they need to do is trade perhaps some of their other pitching for offense because they desperately need offensive help.
Ken, I want to ask you about Cal Raleigh, but before that, just follow up on Skenes. I'm just curious where you stand. 20 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, his ERA could be 0.9 instead of 1.9. It wouldn't matter. 4-7 record. He's drawing dead to win the Cy Young. That obviously has changed a lot. Would you be okay with if his second half is exactly like his first half, where they lose 2/3 of his starts, but none of it's his fault if he's the Cy Young winner?
I'm totally okay with it.
Wow.
It's sort of happened before, though maybe not to the extreme. And the reason I'm okay with it, guys, is that over the years, we've come to learn that wins and losses are not the best measure of a pitcher's performance. They're largely contingent, or at least partly contingent, on the performance of the team. The offense, the bullpen, all of it. So we have other measures that we use now, some relatively common, ERA is one, some more advanced. So to me, if he's the best pitcher, he shouldn't be penalized for being on a bad team. And that is what we would be doing to Paul Skenes if he did not win the Cy Young, or at least right now the first half Cy Young. He's been the best so far.
Gosh, where were you when we were debating Jimmy Garoppolo, Ken? All right, so I want to talk to you about Cal Raleigh because I think he is the one guy that there might be people that tune into on Tuesday and they're like, wait, what? Who? He might hit 65. So 2-part question. 1, could anyone have seen this type of season coming? And 2, is 63, in your opinion, 62, 65, the breaking Judge's AL record on the board?
I don't know that anyone saw it coming. Not that he's been a below average player or anything like that, but he's been at a level of, say, very good, and he's gone to elite this year. He already has his career high in home runs. It's ridiculous what he's accomplishing. When you ask about the American League record, the Judge record, and whether he can do it, now he's on pace for 64 home runs. That would do it. But he's a catcher. Catchers generally, because they play the most physically demanding position on the field, don't produce in the second half the way they do in the first. That's a generalization. It's not always true for everyone, but it's certainly reasonable to expect that his second half will not be as good as his first. So I would say it's a long shot, but my goodness, would I have predicted he would hit 36 home runs by the break? No, I would not.
I want to follow up on this with Cal. He may fall off, as you suggested, in the second half, but at this moment, who is the AL MVP for you? Is it Judge or is it Cal?
It's a really interesting question. And Judge is the leader in batting average, on base, slugging. Of course, he's got a number of home runs as well. He's in the 30s. But Raleigh, because of what he plays, the catching position, is a candidate that would have to be considered and in the conversation for MVP right now. The problem with judging a catcher is that we don't have measures for how he handles a pitching staff, how the confidence he gives a pitching staff. We have measures for framing and blocking and throwing and all of that, but there's an intangible to being a catcher that we don't know the impact of that. Mariners are a team that is right in the middle of the playoff hunt. They're a team that we would expect to be there all season long. They're going to improve at the deadline. So it's an interesting question. I would give Judge a slight edge right now, but I am not ruling out Raleigh for MVP by any stretch of the imagination.
So with the game, one of the biggest snubs, Juan Soto, not making the All-Star team. Is that the number one snub? And should fans be kind of bothered or upset about him not making it?
A lot of fans don't like the fact that he's making $765 million. They're not going to be upset with him not being in the game, if indeed that is what comes to pass. I still believe they're going to find a way with other players bowing out to get him on the team. He did not have a typical Juan Soto start to the season. We all know that. He did have a historic June.
Yep.
And it was crazy what he did in June. He's right in the middle of the league leaders now in OPS and all the significant measures. He should be there. There's no question about it. And I'm a guy who thinks that the biggest stars in the game should be in this game. He is one of the biggest stars in the game, whether you like him or not, whether you're jealous of his money or not, whether you hate the Mets or not, he should be there.
Ken, we know the big stars obviously in the game. Is there one matchup you're looking forward to in the All-Star game specifically, or one storyline that you expect to pop in the All-Star game?
I'm not sure I can think of one. Seems that in the All-Star game, obviously since we've abandoned the meaning of it as far as having a stake in home field advantage for the World Series, it's more of a showcase. So the idea of a single matchup that we'd want to see, I'm not sure we're going to have that. I'll give you one that comes to my mind: Skubal versus Shohei Ohtani. Skubal, maybe not Paul Skenes, but he's having an amazing year. He is the best pitcher in the American League, left-handed. Against Ohtani, left-handed hitter, that would be interesting.
So at least I kind of root for two things in baseball: the Royals and storylines. The Royals, unfortunately, in the same division as the Tigers, so it's just the wild card or bust for them. The other storylines, though, the Cubs being awesome is fun, and it's been a bit of time. Do you think they can have a second half similar to their first half, and what can fans expect to see from Pete Crow Armstrong?
I do expect them to be a playoff team, and I expect them to be a threat to win the World Series. Now, for that to happen, Pete Crow Armstrong is going to have to maintain what he's done, and their offense has got to be at the level it's been at because they've had pitching injuries. Of course, they lost Steele for the season. Now Tyone is out. Imanaga is back. They need help for the rotation. I expect them to get it at the deadline. There are not maybe a lot of great pitchers available, but I expect the Cubs to be aggressive in getting one of them. And with Kyle Tucker coming aboard this year, he has transformed their offense. He's a reason why Pete Crow Armstrong has emerged, and Michael Busch for that matter, and all of their other offensive players. So yes, they're legit. They've shown that in the first half. Barring a number of other injuries to their rotation, I expect them to be right there into October.
Ken, to Nick's chagrin as a Royals fan, I mean, the Tigers are just awesome right now. 4 All-Stars, best record in the league. Are they the best team in baseball, in your opinion?
Best team in baseball might be a little strong because the National League is, on paper anyway, the better league. So the teams in the National League that are strong, some of them are struggling right now, the Mets and the Phillies not being as good as they were earlier, but the Dodgers certainly are a team that is going to be formidable, and the Cubs as well. The Tigers, though, have played the best. I would say that for them. And they're a team that is still composed of mostly younger players and a team that has proven since last August that they are for real in every sense of the word. So I expect them, too, to seek reinforcements at the deadline. On the pitching side, they could use one more starter, some more bullpen help as well. But I would say, yes, they deserve any accolades that they've been getting because they've played so well for such a good amount of time now.
Okay, one more question, Ken, and we're going to let you go. Again, All-Star Game on Tuesday on Fox. What is one sort of bubbling storyline that we should keep our eye on for the second half of the season?
Certainly the deadline. And that's always the story once the All-Star Game is over. And what is the deadline going to be like? There is a lot of concern in the industry right now that it's going to be something of a dud, that the biggest trade, the one for Rafael Devers, already has been made. But it seems to me that we say this almost every year and then things happen. Teams fall out of contention, make their players available, or teams engage in surprising deals that no one ever saw coming. So that to me is the biggest thing immediately right after the All-Star game. And from there, it's, well, how far can the Tigers go? And are the Cubs for real? And what is going to be with the Yankees and the Mets? Are they going to be the teams that they look like they could be at the start of the year, or are they going to be the teams that they were more recently?
Excellent. And don't trade Aaron Durant, please.
Yeah, and are the Royals going to make back-to-back
Well, I don't know
playoffs,
about the Royals.
obviously.
I don't know
It's what's on everybody's mind. Yeah.
Ken, thank you very much. We'll see you
Thanks, Ken.
Tuesday at the All-Star game on Fox. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.